And now, in studio, bringing his Midwest values from the Show Me State to the land of San Diego. He's a triple threat, licensed as an attorney, mortgage broker, and a top producing realtor who's crushing the competition. Here to deliver you what's happening in the trenches of the market. Your host, Michael Gaddis.
Welcome back to the Michael Gaddis Show on AM 1170 The Answer. I am your host, Michael Gaddis of michaelgaddis.com. And after that very heavy first segment, we'll go into something a little bit less heavy. We're going to talk about 8 ways to boost your home value. I saw an article this morning on Yahoo Finance, basically entitled 8 Ways to Boost Your Home Value. And why is that important? That's important because right now, we're in the slower part of the real estate market traditionally. The wintertime is the slower part, but just around the corner is spring and summer, which is obviously the hotter time. So what can you do now? If you're thinking about selling your house this summer or this spring, if you're thinking about putting your house on the market, what are some of the things you can do to help increase that home value? So this article I found it very interesting, and I just wanted to go through some of it with you and see what your thoughts are. So, the first thing that this article says is the kitchen is still king. And that is 100% true. Whenever I have buyers go into a house with me, the first thing they look for is the kitchen. The kitchen is the heart and soul of your house. And it is also one of the most expensive areas to remodel and refurbish. So with that being said, it goes without saying that enhancing the kitchen is one of the most important things you can do to increase the value of your house. This particular article says that buyers of all kinds have long focused on the kitchen, but it holds particular sway over the newest wave of first-time homeowners. A modern, updated kitchen topped the list of ideal home features in our survey of millennials, registering as most important to more than a third of the respondents. So some of the buzzwords they talk about that can help improve your kitchen are stainless steel appliances. Stainless steel appliances have become synonymous with an upgraded kitchen. So when you have nice shiny appliances, it has this image pops into people's heads that you have a super clean kitchen and it's modern. So consider that. The other thing it mentions, it kind of recommends, are quartz countertops. It says, engineered from stone chips, resins, and pigments, quartz has started to challenge granite and marble as the go-to material in higher-end kitchens. It shrugged off heat, scratches, cuts, and stains in their tests, and it requires none of the upkeep of comparably priced natural stones. And that's true. If for those of you who have granite, you know you have to do some maintenance on it. If not, you can run into some problems later on. Quartz is a newer material that's being used. So, I think what they're basically saying is that you can do some things like applying a fresh coat of paint to the walls or your cabinets. You can update the hardware on your cabinets, can make your kitchen look newer. You can also, replace your appliances, or you can replace your countertops. Spending as little as $5,000 on your kitchen can greatly enhance the value of your home. So if you're out there right now and you're thinking you want to sell your house this spring or summer, and you have a little bit of money to help remodel it and kick it up a little bit, and hoping that you can get that money back plus some, one of the areas I suggest is concentrating on the kitchen. The next thing this article talks about is make floor plans work harder. So bigger isn't necessarily better in today's market, but I will tell you that floor plans are important. Especially some of the older homes, they didn't have as open a floor plans. They were boxy. They have a lot of rooms with a lot of walls. So, and sometimes that can feel somewhat claustrophobic, and buyers are turned off by that a lot. Buyers like open, airy floor plans. And sometimes there are ways you can make your house more open and airy very simply and cost effectively. Maybe removing a wall here and, doing some things to really open up those rooms, especially in those homes built in the late 80s and early 90s, where they have a lot of, as I said, those walls and those soffits and things like that. But you also, having big rooms like buzzwords such as flexible rooms or mother-in-law apartments, are upstairs laundry rooms. Upstairs laundry rooms are something I think that people really don't think about too much, but people really like upstairs laundry rooms, and the reason they like that is because think about it. You're doing the laundry. Most of the time your bedrooms are upstairs where you store your clothes. If you don't have an upstairs laundry room, you got to take all your laundry up and down the stairs when it's dirty and then when it's clean, and that's labor intensive. So the fact you have an upstairs laundry room a lot of time is a very much a positive. And if you're advertising your home, you should really be kind of highlighting that feature, because it is something that people like quite a bit. So, open floor plans with some of these things, like as I said, the mother-in-law apartments, those really go a long way. So you're listening to the Michael Gaddis Show on AM 1170 The Answer. I am your host, Michael Gaddis, the real estate broker for Michael Gaddis Realty Group of michaelgaddis.com. And right now we're talking about 8 ways to enhance the value of your home. So number 3 on this list from Yahoo Finance was, don't let your home be an energy hog. Lowering your home's energy costs will save you money as long as you live there, and is expected to be a major selling point down the line. So here's the thing: we've had some solar people on our show in the past, and they're talking about the importance of solar. I will tell you that owning a solar system is definitely a plus for a house. People who go and they see a solar system and they own it, that definitely is money that they can take off of their monthly bills. Now that's versus a lease. I have seen where leases have actually not been so accommodating to the buyers, and they are reluctant to basically assume the terms of the lease. So if you're thinking about putting solar on, I think you really need to evaluate the benefits of owning versus leasing. And because I think one of them will help enhance your home value, and I think the other, if nothing else, it might break you even as far as the buyer's concerned. But getting a buyer to assume a lease, it's a financial obligation, and they might not be willing to do it. And anytime you hear that, sometimes it scares people away. But there's other ways you can do, some energy efficiency. You can, change your windows out to Energy Star certified windows. You can change your lights to LED lights. Those things make your house sound more modern and energy efficient. So take those things into consideration, because I agree with those. And LED lights are dropping in price. I mean, I just went to Home Depot the other day, and they have all kinds of LED lighting now that's really starting to drop. So it's not as expensive as it used to be. Another one says, number 4 says, keep it simple and stress-free. Stain-prone stone countertops, grime-collecting ornate cabinets, and dust-catching wall-to-wall carpet used to be a symbol of luxury. But today's home buyers are more likely to equate them with extra work. So look for stress-free type things. Hardwood floors is stress-free. People are getting more and more away from carpeting, for many reasons: the allergens, the dust, the upkeep of carpet. Hardwood floors are a very good selling point. Also, roofs seem to be a big concern for people. So have your roof checked out, because whenever I've been showing houses to people, my buyers are obsessed with the age of the roof. Not just the fact that it's functioning properly at this time and not leaking, but if a roof is 33 years old, and even though it's not leaking currently, I mean, obviously it's useful. There's a limit to its age, so people are concerned about that. So if you're thinking about selling your home, get your roof looked at, because a shoddy roof can definitely affect the value of your house. Someone's going to look at that roof and say, oh, I'm going to have to replace that, and the amount that they think they're going to have to replace it for is going to be a lot more than what it would actually cost. That's just how buyers think. Everything is exponentially more expensive than what it really is, and they want that taken off the price of the house. And also, you can also do some, update some of your systems in your house. Sometimes, if you have a really old hot water heater. I went into a house the other day that had a hot water heater that was 27 years old. I looked at the date on the water heater, 27 years old, and it was working fine. There was nothing wrong with it, but the buyer was freaked out because it was super old. And so he demanded that they replace it. The seller said no, and we got into this little negotiation over that, because they said there's nothing wrong with it, they shouldn't have to do it. But stuff like that will definitely you turn into a negotiation point later if you don't address it. Another thing it says here is build a home for the ages. A lot of things, in the old days, when you built houses, they're just structurally different. If you could go through and walk through houses with me when I show houses, you could really see how functionally they're different than today's. Today we have a lot more walk-in showers. We have masters on main floors, which is a big deal. We have comfort height toilets. I mean, all of these things that we take into consideration, and the doorways in older houses are also smaller than what current doorways are. I know people must have been shorter back then, but I walk into some of the older houses and I'm about 6'1", so even I'm like, whoa, that's kind of tight there even for me. So some of the doorways in some of the older homes are not that way. So if you have a home that you might have some of those things and you're going to try to appeal towards a more masses, try to modernize your house a little bit as far as the functionality is concerned. Another thing, number 6, paint is still a potent upgrade, and I agree with this. You have to have a nice paint job on your house, both the exterior and the interior. You can't have flaking paint, or as soon as somebody walks up there, they're going to see it and they're going to say, oh my God, this house has deferred maintenance, it's going to cost me a lot of money. Then when you go in, make sure you neutralize your paint in your house. Get a guy over there if you have some accent walls that are bright red or brown or whatever color you like, try to neutralize them into neutral tones. Soft grays, neutral beiges, things like that. Stay away from the super bold, because it's gonna turn people away. And I know what you're thinking. The buyers can always paint it, and we know that. But buyers don't look at it that way. They look at it as another hassle that they have to go through. What you want to do is neutralize your house so that when someone comes into your house, they can kind of see and kind of get ideas for how they want to design it and they want to live there, and not how you do it. So neutralizing it as much as possible. And if you don't believe me, you can always go and take a look at some of the new homes. Go through some of the model homes and see how they paint their homes. They don't put giant, real bright red walls or things like that in there. They do that for a reason. They do that because they try to keep everything neutral tones. So that's really, really important. Number 7, remember the great outdoors. This is also very important. Make sure that you don't forget about minor little landscaping. And I'm talking about pulling weeds, planting some flowers here and there, maybe putting down some mulch. Little things like that go a long way. Okay, so don't forget to take care of the outside around your house. And it doesn't cost much. This stuff just takes a little time and money, but those types of things will really enhance the value of your home. You will be amazed at how far mulch will go, and it's not even that expensive at all. And number 8, make sure make sure your new technology is smart. So smart homes are coming around. And I'll give you an example. Programmable thermostats. This article even says whole house generators. Now that seems to be going a little bit far. I mean, we don't have power outages that much, but those types of things, having your house become smarter so that it's more interactive with some of your computers and smart devices is definitely appealable. And getting a new programmable thermostat is not that expensive to do, and yet you can put that and highlight that as your house being more smart and more technologically savvy. So those are some of the things that you can do to enhance the value of your home, and you have the time to do it now, because you have about 2-3 months before the real estate season is going to start increasing. So those are some things you can do. So anyway, after the break, we're going to talk a little bit about the pros and points of concern for reverse mortgages. You're listening to the Michael Gaddis Show on AM 1170, The Answer.